Hey guys, what's up everyone? Welcome to Young Tiny World. I hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Today we're going to be talking about one particular movie, one that is of great interest to me, one that we have avoided, watching for quite some time, not because of any particular reason, but mainly due to the fact that, well, I don't know, I kind of had the vibe that we didn't really need to go over it. It's like it was a movie that seemed like self-explanatory, and as far as I could tell, when I deal with movies that have a big box office, it kind of seems like there's only one way to tell the story is great. If you loved it, you're going to be able to see that on Rotten Tomatoes and every single platform that exists ever. But I'm going to quit the balling. um we're going to talk about Creed 3. Now, Creed 3 has been around for quite some time now, but we're going to talk about it like extensively. What's it all mean? And probably why exactly is it the way it is? First, let's watch the trailer, or I might run out of things to say.
I spent the last 7 years of my life living out my wildest dreams. Bianca, Rocky, my dad. This is built on their shoulders. Hey, my man, can I help you?
Let me get an autograph.
Nah, I ain't signing no autographs, but you get off my car.
You don't remember me, huh?
Damien. How long were you locked up?
18 years.
I gotta say, he's switched up so much. It's like he's a completely different guy. Honestly, Michael B. Jordan looks completely different. He's different from the time that he was in Fantastic Four. But let's just keep
Bro,
watching.
just got out last week.
Glad to have you back out, huh?
I know I've been away a long time, but I kept myself in shape. I still got gas in the tank.
Come by the gym.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, Jonathan Major's face is kind of scary to me. I don't. It freaks me out in a way I can't describe.
Curious what happened with you two.
I didn't tell you. We was like brothers. I was the best, though. But I never got a chance to prove that. That's cute. Hurt me? I know what you're doing, Donnie. You don't owe this to nothing.
Damien's fighting the world and he's trying to hurt people.
I vouch for you. You think you mad? Try spending half your life in a cell. Watching somebody else live your life. I'm coming for everything. You threatening me?
Something is going on with you.
Damien was my family. Now we past talking.
Then maybe you just have to find him.
Do what I gotta do.
Wait a minute. She didn't say that in the movie. They cut that part
Some
out.
of my methods you might disagree with me. These are family ties. I recognize mine. I know that they needed me. Traumatic stress, watch it manifest. Got my only fear. I ain't scared of that. Did you hear me yet? I ain't scared of that. Did you hear me yet? What you
I must have missed that in the montage, but I didn't see him soak himself in ice.
gonna do? Threaten to take my breath.
I need you to let go of your fear. Let go of the guilt. Let go of whatever was and walk into what is.
I feel those chains are breaking, yeah. I fear God, I don't fear death. I see those stripes and take a step.
I knew Ryan Coogler being part of this was gonna make it epic. I think that's the part where all the theatrics came from. Maybe he poured that into the show, but the rest of it probably was all Michael B. Jordan. But yeah, that was basically it. That was the entire how do I call it? That was the trailer. If you haven't watched it, please by all means, do. Okay? It's a really amazing story itself. I loved everything, and then there were parts that I did not love. But let's start from the very beginning. Now, we already know much about the Creed story, the fact that the boxing was a main big deal. Um, Adonis Creed being the prodigy of his father Apollo, setting himself onto a stage that caused him to have to be the best and prove that the name Creed was something that deserved to be in the Hall of Fame, something like that. And I guess in this one, we get to see him as a family man. We get to see him as a person who is just, he's the person who has lived his dreams. He's gone the distance. He's procured everything that he deems worthy of claiming. And we still get to that part where there's a piece of his past that comes back to take things from him in the form of Damien. Now, it seems like he's just trying to like make up for lost time, trying to apologize in a way because that part of him was a very close part of him. It's like childhood friends coming back together again. You guys relish all those moments you spent together. And it seems like Damien is a little bit cross. I wouldn't say a little bit, a lot cross. That the life that he kind of visioned for himself as is something that his friend is having, so it's like there is this hatred, there's this anger deep inside him. And I don't know, like from the start to the finish, we see this attitude of Damien, which is like, I will take what is mine no matter the cost, no matter what happens, I'm going to rip it away from you. And it's very crazy. It's very crazy and it's very intense. Now we get to see so much more of an acting from Jonathan Majors and from Michael B. Jordan. It's really thrilling. It's exhilarating, and I think there were parts in it that really made me feel it, like some genuine parts of the movie itself that could drive you insane. I believe the first part that actually cave like drove me insane, or like the part that really made me shooketh, was that moment when we found ourselves on the stage where we were fighting, where Damien was fighting Creed Athletics, their prodigy, or the person who was supposed to take the helm of what Adonis used to do. Like, instead of that happening, Jonathan Major's tooth got knocked out, and it was just so, I don't know, it was so graphic, and it was so, I could literally, it's like I could feel that ringing in the ear, and it's like it. I don't know. Every time that I remember that scene, it feels so intense, and it kind of feels like the most intense out of the entire thing, out of the entire show. We realize that he's just like fueled by this rage, by this sort of drive that doesn't stop on anyone's account, not for anyone or not for no one. And it's crazy. It's crazy from every single angle. It's crazy. I mean, you set aside the montage, you set aside everything else. I think Jonathan Majors himself kind of like embodies the character in a way that is so scary and at the same time so understandable. It's like you've lost everything and now you want a chance to get it back. You are not going to second guess every decision that you're going to make. You're going to put in your 100% best no matter the cost. And I don't know. I don't know the stakes because they well list all the cons that Adonis has in facing a person who seems to be just who has jumped into the rink and is fresh off the block. And I think one major aspect about boxing is that you need to have less difficulties or less cons, let's put it that way. You need to have less cons if you are a fighter, because if you have more broken bones in your body, there's no chance that you are going to consider being resilient to the very end, because by the time you get there, you're probably in crutches or something. So the idea or the symphony that came with this entire show, having Adonis have to pull himself back together, get to that point where he's ready and capable of facing someone who threatens to take everything that he had worked so hard, that his parents had worked so hard to put together. I think that that is one part of it that makes me respect it, but also at the same time it's kind of like, okay, I don't know how he's going to lose. What if he loses? You know, this entire show is gonna fall apart if he loses. And it seems like a too great a risk. It's like they're not gonna do that. The name of the show itself is called Creed. You wouldn't call an entire show Creed if the person didn't win. You know, if he didn't have some sort of arc that looked impressive. We've seen three of these. We've seen three of these, in all of which he was victorious, no matter how challenging it was. They punched him in the stomach. They knocked him out. They made, I mean, like the one that really kind of like spooked me a little bit was when they knocked him out and he fell to the ground and then he had to like take in this gasp of air. But this one wasn't like that. It's like they punched him in the gut. And that plus the fact that there were so many theatrics that went into it was having me a little bit, I don't know. I didn't really fall into it. I didn't fall in love with it because it seemed more like a theatric play rather than an actual fight for their lives. Because even when the entire audience around them faded into black, even when everything stopped and it only looked like it was two of them in that ring, it did not seem like the stakes were high because no matter how Adonis has faced trials, no matter how Adonis has s- gotten a lot of like a lot of enemies or people who are supposed to take him down, he's always done the opposite. He's always stood his ground, and so like in my opinion, it did not really seem that scary to me. It's like okay, new person, childhood friend, scary as fuck. But I think before we end this all, I also looked at the way Damien fought the other characters. There was no, I don't know if that was something that he did intentionally, but when he was fighting Adonis, he didn't really put that 100% chaotic fighting type. You know, when he was fighting the other guy, the Mexican dude, that was different. He was like hitting his legs, using his elbow. It's like I don't know if the Mexican guy can catch on really quickly, but the way he was fighting that guy was way more intense. Yeah, this guy, he it was way more intense than when he was fighting Adonis. I don't know if it's because Adonis was able to factor that in and be able to counter every single thing that he threw, or the mere fact that he still sees himself, that Damien still sees himself as the elder brother, and he's also holding on to the past too. If that is the case, then Damien was not exactly, then Damien wasn't exactly chaotic when he was fighting him, Adonis. Because when he was fighting Chavez, yeah, you could see that rage, you could see that resilience. Dude had his teeth knocked out, and I keep saying that that's the most craziest scene in this show. But when it came to Adonis, there was like this, there was intensity, no doubt, but it wasn't that much. And I guess that's what made me feel as if, okay, the stakes didn't really look that big of a deal in the end. So in the end, it looked like it was just, yeah, it's great. I mean, like, I got to see the cages, I got to see the prison. They put an entire prison cell wall behind him. That was great. And put a punching bag at the corner. That was also great. And so it's like it's lovely. It's lovely. I love the theatrics. Um, I'm sure it signifies a lot of things, all of which I did not care for. But I say all in all, it was a great show. Okay, it was a great show, and I did love it. There's this ringing sound in my ear right now, and I believe I'm remembering the time he got his teeth knocked out, and it was so bloody. It was so bloody, it was so fiery, it was so insane. It just made no sense to me. Anyways, I want to thank every single person for watching. Um, it is a toll on me, honestly. Uh, I don't know how to put this. Trying to explain how I feel about a show in a public gathering. It's not the same as when I'm walking on the streets. At least when I'm walking on the streets, I don't have to wait 15 minutes later for anyone to look at me or to make judgments of any kind, or my own self, um, my own self-respect or my ego itself does not get tarnished in any way, because it's like the more I move, the more confident I am. When I sit, it's rather the inverse. Whatever I have regenerates very slowly and at a level that probably no one can understand or even contend with. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that I really did enjoy it. I really did enjoy it. So hopefully, the other movies that I get to react to, the other movies that come my way, they will be much better than the ones that I've done. Than this, obviously. I do feel like with every review that I make, I'm getting better. So it will reach that point in time where I wouldn't even need to say so much. It wouldn't be 15 minutes long, and it would be just enough for me to capture what those 2 hours or what those 3 hours did. And no, I guess yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel as it helps support us. Um, and as I've said before, this is basically our daily bread. So this is going to be happening every day now, and I would appreciate your support. And I want to thank every single person that has been with us this far. I'd love to show you guys the progress that we've made, and how it's all thanks to you guys. It's really all thanks to you guys. I do not know if I would have been able to get this far if not for you. So I just want to say thank you once again. So this is how far we've reached, honestly. This is how far we've reached. Each and every single time that I show this to anyone, really, they say that it's a little bit off course. This 59K, soon to be 60K, or 60K plays all time. And I believe we started this in 2021. Um, the Spotify followers, I guess, in a way, the RSS feed goes to multiple platforms. Pandora is where we get a lot or a majority of our following, or of our attention. The next one would probably be another site. I don't keep track of all of them. At least I'm not really great with numbers, so I kind of forget about it. But we've reached 59K, and it's all thanks to you guys. Now, I know the number might not be like the greatest for everyone to see, but I love it. And I thank you, each and every single one of you, for how much you have added to this number. Okay? And I'll check in with you guys tomorrow. Hope you guys take care and have a fantastic evening. Young Titan out. Hi.